Okay, so today I am going to review BareBones Fantasy. Um, this is a new game by DWD Studios. BareBones Fantasy is very much, the title pretty much says it all. It is bare bones. It's as few rules as possible. And yet, oddly enough, I cannot think of a more versatile game system. I just did 2 reviews for Castles and Crusades, Swords and Wizardry. I compared those two. And of course, I've played 3.5 for about 7 years. Never did get to play Pathfinder, but I have all the books and I read the material on them. And it's very odd. For a game that has so few rules, and a lot of rule systems are kind of vague in this game, and it's done that way so that you can decide how you want to do it. It has a complexity to it while still being simple. Case in point, when you create your character, you are you assign percentages. There's a primary. First off, there's no levels. There's no classes in this game. Just the skills. So basically, a person isn't a paladin. A person is a paladin by choice, and the skills that back up that paladinhood, leadership and maybe warrior skills, something like that, or cleric. So this game really gives you a chance to micromanage a character without really involving a lot. Then there's the way you put your percentiles into the character really determines how the character shapes up. The game system is based on a percentage die, which I tend not to like, but I kind of like it here. And I think the one off-putting thing about the whole entire system is the ability to resist. There's something called the resistance roll, and that is anything from a saving throw to I just got hit. The creature made his attack roll. Let me see if I dodge it, or let me see if I parry it, or whatever you want to call it. It's a resistance roll to see if you've escaped the damage. And while that can kind of play out to make a very long game, house ruling it real simple to say you can do no more than 3 resistance roll in a turn or in a round. Kind of just puts a cap on that. And of course you get penalized for doing so many resistance rolls. But I don't really know. I would like to go into the details of the game, but that's kind of like giving it all away. I mean, there's just so few rules. The one thing I will talk about, though, that really, this book, it stands out in this book, is the magic system. Instead of having a list of 300 spells, there's like 17, something like 17 of them. And they're very broad. Like, for instance, my favorite example of this is called Offensive Strike. At first level of your skill as a spellcasting, your skill in spellcasting, you do, I believe it's 1 dice of damage, and then it adds up to a dice per level. All skills go up to 6th level, and then that's it. As you go further into the spell, you may be able to do one thing at this level, and then it grows into the next. Offensive Strike, for instance. All it really does is add in damage. But Offensive Strike is where we want it to be. I need a fireball. Oh, I have a fireball. Now it only does the 1d damage, but I throw at you and it has all the property of fire, so your clothes catch on fire. Or the hay catches on fire. Oh, but now I need electrical. Next round. I need a lightning bolt. I got that. I can shoot it as a lightning bolt. So really, that one spell is like 8 or 9 D&D spells put together. Same thing with, like, I think it's called transport. It's not teleport, it's transport. That's everything from levitation to flying to teleporting to different worlds. All in the same spell. It's just the level of spell you have it in. Again, I almost, even if you weren't going to play this game, I mean, shit, the game's like $10, you know. And that's another thing I want to talk about this company. When you buy this, as you can see, I made a printout. They just now came out with the book in print. But when you buy it as a PDF, you're not only getting this book, the printer-friendly book, you're getting the real nice tone too. So you get the choice on which one you want to print. And you're getting the there's a map of their generic world that they've made, and there's at least 4 or 5 of those maps. One is the world on a grid, the world without a grid, the map world blank, which I love, because that way now I don't like the world, screw the world, I just make my own world, and I don't even have, it's such a beautiful, the cartography that they've, not just for this, but they've created several modules for it. The cartography is just beautiful. And another thing are the modules. They've come out with at least 3 or 4 modules already. They charge like $2 for them, $3 to $4. I think the most expensive one was $4. Actually, no, I think that was the world setting is $4. It's like a 35-page book, $4. So they've really captured the essence of the bare essentials, the bare bones of a role-playing game in this game. I was so taken back by it. I've been playing Greyhawk for, ever. And I've always wanted to do my own little setting, and I finally decided I was going to do it in Castles Crusades, but damn, this is just, one of those games, and I feel so free to be able to house rule whatever I want to with it, because it's so bare. And you're going to come up and go, hey, wait a minute, there's no rule for this, which you really could just fudge and not really make up another rule for something that pops up, because it's just so nice. But it gives you the room to say, okay, I'm going to make another house rule for it, whatever. So again, I would say this is probably the best role-playing game. I still love my Castles and Crusades, but concept-wise, I could go on about this game. You got a minor NPC, you only need like 2 stats for that NPC to really play it out. I could go on about this game. I mean, it's just really that kind of game. Again, BareBones, you can now buy it in a book form, but if you're really doubtful, buy the PDF, and you're going to get so much for your money. I mean, maps and player aids, free. The website has all kinds of free downloads, a DM screen, everything free. So that is my opinion on